Cascade Hoops Talk, this is Billy D. Wow, what a load of conference action. It's finally getting going. We actually have some numbers on the standings now, plus some amazing top 25 games last night. Buckle up. Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Cascade Hoops Talk, produced in the shadow of the beautiful Cascade Mountains and bringing the world NAIA basketball. One podcast at a time. Hope everybody had a good night last night. I hope your team won. Loads of basketball really starting to heat up. We're in that December period, and so lots of top 25 action. The Crossroads was in action last night, and that's where we're going to start. So number one, Grace College. Their rival Huntington came down to Winona Lake. Grace handled them really no problem, 78-59. Michael Wellman, the freshman out of Portage, he had 12 points. And then the guard, Grady Carpenter, I know Scott Moore's high on him, freshman out of Tipton. He had 13 assists in the win. And then Ian Rosh was out there to make sure things didn't get out of control. He scored 11. So the Grace Lancers, they go to 8-1, and they're going to be at Spring Arbor on Saturday. Also in the Crossroads, Indiana Wesleyan soundly defeated St. Francis. Cademan Bontrager, a double-double, 19 points, 11 rebounds. Julius Gizzi, 26 points, 4 rebounds. So the Wildcats are at 8-1, and they're going to go to Huntington on Saturday. Number 11, Bethel Pilots. They got beat tonight in Mishawaka by Taylor. Austin Peters, he's putting some in the water bottles, I tell you. Tonight, they beat him 91-80. Last night, Pete Combs, 26.7 rebounds, and Anthony McGee, 17 points, 4 rebounds. Big win for the Taylor Trojans. We'll have to see if this is real, but right now Taylor looks good. So Bethel, they go to 8-1. They're going to be okay. They're a good team, and they're going to be at St. Francis on Saturday. So in the Crossroads, here's the rest of the scores. I'm not going to read them to you. I tried that once, if you remember, and it was ugly. Those are the scores. So here's the standings, though. So right now, it's not a lot of games, but Grace is on top with Bethel, Indiana Wesleyan, Mount Vernon, Nazarene. You see that. You know, most of these leagues have, like, in 1/3. They got the upper third, the mid pack, and then the bottom pack. But this is kind of half and half. So let's look at the games coming up on Saturday and what to really look for. So Indiana Wesleyan has to go to Huntington. Keep your eye on that game. Huntington is good. I saw him when I was back in Indiana. Saw him a couple times, and they got a play up in the Platte. So that could be a very, very good game. Now, Bethel is going to St. Francis. St. Francis is really trying to right the ship. It's a great program. They're struggling right now, and Bethel needs a win to get back on track. Those are the games I'll be really paying attention to. Here's the rest of the games for Saturday. That brings us to number 8, Ave Maria. They obviously had a bad taste in their mouth from that Northwestern loss. They just beat up on Florida National, 124-79. Michael Klekas, 19 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Jonathan Efforts, 20 points, 3 rebounds. So Ave Maria seems to have recovered. They're at 11-1, and they're going to host Florida College on Friday. Oh, KCAC tonight. I tell you, let's start with 3 teams in the top 25 in the KCAC. So Oklahoma Wesleyan, they beat Avila pretty handily, 71-56. Tamaje I could say it earlier. Anyway, Tamaje, he scored 26 points, 16 rebounds, and I apologize to him. I got to get that name. I will get that name. And then Yashi McKenzie, 8.6 rebounds. So Oklahoma Wesleyan, they go to 8-1, and they're going to host Sterling on Saturday. Bethel played Friends. Bethel lost a 1-point game. I'll talk about it here in a second when we click over to Friends. But Bethel fell. They go to 7-2, and they're going to play Evangel on Saturday. So this game was at Friends. So Colin Macklin, he had 16 points, 8 rebounds. He missed, and he got the putback for the game winner. Al Emerlahu, 16 points, 2 rebounds, 1-point game, great basketball game. Friends goes to 6-2, and they're going to play Kansas Wesleyan on Saturday. You know what? This is what I love about NAIA basketball. I'm sitting there watching this Friends Falcons game. I click over, and then Northwestern and Morningside are going into championship rounds, then overtime. And that game is a knockdown, drag-out fight. This game is a war. Anyway, great basketball tonight. Okay, so let's look at the rest of the scores. Again, I'm not going to read them all to you. A lot of games in the KCAC. I think everybody played. St. Mary fell again. Oh, they're really struggling right now. And then you see the Friends score. So here's the standings. Hold on, let's do it like this. You didn't know you were coming for your eye test, did you? Oklahoma Wesleyan and Bethel Friends, you can see it just loaded up at the top. So there's those standings all the way to the bottom. Here's the games coming up on Saturday. Bethel and Evangel. Bethel really needs to recover from that loss. They're a really good team. I expect they will. That's a game I'm going to keep my eye on. And then Oklahoma Wesleyan playing Sterling. Sterling's good. What are they? 3-1, I think. But Oklahoma Wesleyan needs to keep the pressure on everybody else. You saw all those 3-1s underneath them. Here's the rest of the games in the conference. St. Mary desperately needs a win. Okay, let's walk over to the WAC. Indiana Tech tonight. They beat Lawrence Tech. This was in Fort Wayne, but still, that's getting to be a tougher and tougher game to get past in the WAC is Lawrence Tech, but they beat them by 20. Jackson Fugate, 28.6 rebounds. Blake Davison, 15 points, 11 rebounds. I saw that tonight, and I kind of smiled. I remember when Blake Davison, I think was a freshman or a sophomore, when they had all those fifth-year seniors on that team. I got to know that team some back at Kansas City. They were really a bunch of nice guys. But Blake Davison basically just ran around the perimeter waiting for the old men to throw him the ball so he could score a three. But now here he is. He's a redshirt senior. He's the old man on the team, and he's pulling in 11 rebounds while he cans 15 points. It's really, really fun watching these players grow up and mature and become men. That you got to love that about NAIA basketball. So Indiana Tech, they go to 8-1. They're going to play Rochester Christian on Saturday. I know you don't want the eye test again. Madonna got the win. Northwestern Ohio got the win in the barn. Cleary knocked off Michigan Dearborn. That was a surprise. And Lords won. So here's the standings in the WAC. Indiana Tech and Madonna. Oh, can you believe Indiana Tech and Madonna are atop the WAC? Never would have guessed that. Lords and Rochester Christian are right behind them. Man, there's a lot of teams in that conference. So Michigan Dearborn and Lords is one of the games I'm going to watch because Michigan Dearborn dropped that game to Cleary. Really surprised me. Both these teams need a win to keep up with that Indiana Tech Madonna group. And Indiana Tech needs to beat Rochester Christian because Rochester Christian is right behind them. Here's the rest of the games in the conference. Lawrence Tech is at the Garage. Again, I won't read them all to you, I promise. Well, here's that Northwestern game. Northwestern fell in overtime 96-93. One of the best basketball games I've watched for a while. they lost to Morningside in a GPAC game. It was overtime, as I said. So Northwestern, they go to 9-3, and they're going to be at Hastings on Saturday. Dan Brocale, 22 points, 2 rebounds. Alex Wilcoxon, 19.6 rebounds, 13 assists. I think I mentioned it when we were back in Indiana and Morningside was back there. This young man really impressed me, and now he's impressing the whole country now. Great line last night. He played a fantastic game. So Concordia, they beat up Doane pretty good. They were in Seward there. Brooks Kissinger, 24 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Tate Oddbody, 14.6 rebounds. They go to 7-2, and they're going to play. They host Dakota Wesleyan on Saturday. Let's look at the rest of the games in the GPAC. Quite a few. Dordt beat Briarcliff. Briarcliff had been undefeated in the conference. There's that. Well, obviously that wasn't the final score, but so let's look at the standings. Concordia, Morningside, you see him there at the group. Okay, this is not to drive home a really obvious point, but Northwestern, one of the top teams in the country, everybody agrees with that, and they're just getting beat up in the GPAC. They're 1-3. They're, what are they, 8th place in the GPAC. It's amazing. So coming up on Saturday, Northwestern's going to be at Hastings. I want to see this. Dakota Wesleyan has to go over to Seward and play Concordia. Dakota Wesleyan had a really emotional loss the other night to Dakota State. They need to win. They're at 500 right now. Concordia obviously needs to win to stay on top. And then Dordt, who had the big win over Briarcliff tonight, they have to go to Doane, and Doane is where dreams die. I swear, I don't care what their record is. They always knock off somebody who absolutely needs a win. In the AMC, just a couple of games, one conference game, one non-conference game. Columbia won. But I wanted to show you the schedule. They're still playing very, very few conference games, a lot of non-conference. Columbia's playing Crowley's Ridge on Saturday, but it's mostly non-conference. In the Appalachian Conference, quite a few games. Let's look at the results there. This was a game I was interested in, Milligan and Johnson. During the show, I heard the announcers, and I talked to a couple other people about it. Did Johnson build that team to take on Milligan? You know, Milligan came into this season with a little bit of mark on their back. Everybody in the Appalachian was going to come after him, it seems. But Johnson got Milligan tonight. They're both big, strong teams, and tonight was Milligan's night, or I'm sorry, Johnson's night. So let's look at the standings. Not a lot of games yet. Pikeville looks really good, by the way. Johnson's right behind them. Tennessee Wesleyan, CIU. See this? You got a top pack, middle pack, bottom pack here. Teams have got to stay out of this bottom pack. I say it a million times, but in these big conferences, if you get 4 games behind, man, look how many teams you got to leapfrog. That gets really hard. So Saturday, here's the games coming up. CIU and Milligan. That's a game I'll be really interested in. 2 physical teams like to get at it. And Reinhardt and Columbia, 2 good teams. Reinhardt needs a win to stay up in that top group and not slip back. I think right now they're 3-2. They do not want to go to 500. Chicagoland, again, just a couple of games. 1 conference game, 1 non-conference. Let's look at the standings. Just a few games. St. Francis and Olivet Nazarene. It's good to see Olivet Nazarene back at the top of the conference. Not that I have anything against anybody else in the conference, but for years, Olivet Nazarene has been, they've defined the Chicagoland, and They've given it an identity. It's up there where they play. They're really battling for attention because the WAC and the Crossroads are right there, and Olivet Nazarene has always been, nationally competitive, and they've given the Chicagoland an identity. It's good to see that. So the games in the Chicagoland on Saturday. Holy Cross is going to take on St. Francis. They have to go to St. Francis, but it's kind of a rivalry game. They're not very far from each other. Holy Cross is going to go after St. Francis, see if they can knock them off. Same with St. X. They'd love to get Olivet Nazarene on their floor. Here's the rest of the games in the Chicagoland on Saturday. River States. Look at that big load of games. I know that was a non-conference game. I think this might have been a conference game. And then there's not enough games for standings yet. So here's the games on this Friday and Saturday. Georgia Gwinnett's going to play a couple. They're going to play St. Mary of the Woods and Midway. And Shawnee State, Lindsey Wilson will be another one. Oh, here's one you really want to watch. IU Kokomo and Indiana Southeast. Are you writing down all your assignments? In the heart of America, a lot of games. I think the whole conference play. Graceland looks really good. Todd Lawrenson's doing a great job. William Woods there. As is Missouri Baptist. They're both undefeated. Mid-American Nazarene struggling a little bit. Let's go to the standings. So here's the standings. Missouri Baptist and Graceland are tied at 4-0. You can see the rest of them there. So let's go over to the games on Saturday. Okay, what to expect. Here's the 1 and 2. These are the two 4-0 teams. Do you think that's one of the games we should watch? What do you think? Two of the best coach teams in the country, and Tyler Jarvis is doing a great job at Missouri Baptist, and Todd Lawrenson's been around a while. And they're both tough. It'll be a good game. Let's just say that. And then Missouri Valley at William Penn, they're in that they're in that middle third. Kind of at that up where they could start slipping down, or they could fight their way up. Again, I know I'm a broken record, but man, you don't want to go down into that bottom third, and you got to leapfrog 8 teams to get back into it. Hey, that's all I have for you tonight. A lot of basketball last night, a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it too. We'll be back with you again tomorrow on Friday, Tomorrow, hopefully we'll have a few minutes with Trent Miller to talk about that Northwestern game. Hey, appreciate everybody tuning in. This is Billy D. Talk to you soon. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.